I found sunshine when I found you. Oh, baby. I found sunshine when I found you. Oh, baby. Getting my way along in the dark. Nights were dreary, raining every day. I got down on my knees and I prayed that some
Giant gray stripe sunflower babies. I planted some last year. I started them in the house in my little nursery. They got really, really big and I got tons of seeds. These are just the seeds that I had put out for the birds. Funnily enough, they landed in the same spot where I had planted them last year. So I got little babies growing. It's really, really cold and they popped up through the snow. So they're hardy. I love sunflowers and growing flowers. So I don't know, just sharing my sunflower babies. I hope everyone has a great Friday. Oh, look, there's a worm. What's up, Mr. Worm? I'm gonna have to pull some weeds and stuff. These guys are getting big. Let's see about my transplant. That was a transplant, and there's a bunch of weeds in here. The sunflower babies are getting really big. They're gonna go all the way up that wall. Last year they hit my roof. Okay. Good morning. It's the day after Easter. Just a growth update on my giant gray striped sunflowers. As mentioned in one of my other videos in the comments, sunflowers are allelopathic. They have I can't pronounce the word, allelopathy. They're allelopathic. We'll just say that. Which means they have toxins in their roots. So if you plant them near other flowers, they will release the toxins and those will greatly impede the growth of the other flowers near them. So in my backyard, I do an Italian kitchen garden every year. And I would not put sunflowers in there. And I'm just going to pull back so you guys can see. They're going to go all the way to my roof right there. These guys are going to get really, really big. So I'm excited to share these. I love these. These are a great variety. They're very easy to grow. I would not grow them inside and transplant them because once the root system is formed, they're very hard to transplant. I did transplant one. Let's check him out. Let's see how he's doing. There he is. He's doing okay. I transplanted him because he was growing with these guys and they're all too close together. I'm debating if I'm going to sacrifice some or just let them all grow. They can grow really close together, but they're not going to do as well. So if anybody has any horticulture questions, growing questions, flower questions, I mean, there's always Google, but I'm friendly and I'm happy to answer any questions. So I don't know. Hope everybody has a great day. If you've been following my shorts, you know that these got huge. Unfortunately, my transplant, the birds are kind of nipping at it. I think they think it's a worm. So he's looking a little weak, but that's okay. And then we got a little rogue guy right there. I still got to weed and stuff, but holy cow, those guys got big. I'm debating if I'm just going to leave them, let them get big and overcrowd each other. I don't know, but anyhow, hope everybody's well. It's about to rain. Have a great night.
Company
exponential growth really quickly. For those new to my channel, I did not plant these like this. These are giant gray striped sunflowers. These get really big, so this is not ideal. This is from homegrown birdseed. I fed the birds and they blessed me again this season, coincidentally in the same spot I would have planted them. And then there's one of the transplants. He's not doing great. The birds have kind of been pecking on him. But yeah, I'm just documenting the growth of these guys in a way that I would never have planted them. So have a great weekend. They're getting big, but they're not doing great. Here's my transplant. I'm about to water them. I film before I water. My landlord accidentally sprayed some Roundup on them. I mean, they're not going to grow well because they're too close. That's why I'm documenting these, but you can see the burn marks where they got sprayed. So they're getting big though, and they're going to get all the way. Well, I don't know because they're close together, but if they weren't, they would get all the way to the ceiling. So have a wonderful day. Look at how big they're getting. Look at the stems on that dame. That's what I should have said in the other video, the stems. Look at the stems on that dame. Unfortunately, the bunnies have been munching on my transplant, but that's okay because we love bunnies. But the stems are getting thick and they're really tight in there. So again, don't plant them like this. Have a great day. And there's the transplant, and he is so much smaller than the rest of them, but these got so big. I'm surprised they grew so much because they're so close together. But gray stripe, giant gray stripe sunflowers. I did not plant these like this. If you've been on my channel, you know. That's how they're looking. Look at how girthy. Like, that's thick. I'm surprised they did this well. So those how they're looking. These came from birdseed. I did not plant these. This is one of the transplants that survived that I tried to save. But look at that growth. I'm really surprised they grew this much this close together. That's why I'm documenting it. Giant gray striped sunflowers. Almost looks like a big old bush. Who doesn't love a little bush?
I let go and we flow. All of these dreams within me. Somehow I feel part of you is part of me.
So that one looks like it's already getting a bud. So if these weren't planted so close together, like I did it last year, separate, they got all the way to the roof. So if it's already getting the flower now, that's probably as tall as they're going to get. And the transplant's root got ripped when I transplanted him, so he's like half the size. But once they all get their heads, I think that's going to look really cool. I did not plant these like this. This came from homegrown birdseed from last year's grow. And when they sprouted up, I have the videos on my short feed. I didn't have the heart to pull them. So I think they look really cool. So I'm just documenting how they grow in these conditions. Have a good day. Well, I was wrong. even though they're so close together, they still grew just as big as the ones last year. Not as thick, not as girthy in the stem, but that one's hitting the roof. And then there's the transplant. These popped up from birdseed. I didn't have the heart to pull them, so I just let them grow as is. I transplanted 3. One of them survived, but his root got ripped. So he's like half the size of these guys, but look how big and beautiful. These are giant gray stripe variety sunflowers. Let's see if I can... Oh, it's a girthy guy. And the heads are developing. But like I said, if you saw my shorts when these guys popped out, they got huge. It's only been, what, 2 months? Happy planting. Have a great day. So, kind of a sad update. My 2 biggest ones, a storm came through and unearthed them. Good band, by the way, Unearthed. But anyhow, it unearthed the big sunflowers. And look what these guys are doing now. They were straight up, and now they're like, nope, give me all the sun. But what's strange, too, is look at how girthy. Like, for them growing so close together like that. But anyhow, those ones being unearthed obviously affected these ones. So for anybody who's been following my channel and the sunflower saga, sad update. We'll still keep them growing. It's just, yeah. So look at how they're looking now. All right, well, have a good day. Happy planting. So this is how they're looking now that the 2 biggest ones were unearthed. That's a little transplant peeking out. But yeah, it's a little sunflower update. The brick's down there to hold them up because they were falling down. That storm did a number on these guys, but my giant gray striped sunflowers are doing okay. If you're new to my channel, I didn't plant these. These sprouted up from homegrown bird seed. They just happened to sprout up where I would have normally planted them. So happy planting.